and you.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Vidane TV. Mike wants to rock 75 here at Rockingham Speedway in Rockingham, USA. I am Showtime Paul Strickland Jr., and I got a loaded booth up here. 3 men up here. 3 men that I've absolutely become friends with, and love hanging out with these guys during the race, throughout the race, and definitely before the race. Most likely after the race when the wobbly pops come out. Dylan Langell, Mike on the Rock, and Race Time Joe. We're here with another Tim's Corner Motorsports special event, running the ARCA Menards cars here at Rockingham Speedway, because Mike said, hey, you know what? We're not racing Saturday night. NASCAR's not racing Saturday night. Let's go racing Saturday night. So, Mike, great idea, getting everybody together here at Tim's Corner Motorsports. The Laker News jumping on board, supporting us here tonight. Great evening for some racing here on iRacing Live on Vidane TV.
Yeah, pretty excited about Rockingham. You know, over the last 2 years, there has been an ownership group actually looking to revive the Rock, and I was in conversation with them, and they had a heavy metal concert there. Unfortunately, it did not work out for them, and the Rockingham is still up in the air. But we're going to see it live tonight, and I got two of my best buddies here, Dylan and Smokin' Joe from Ontario. It's going to be a great night. It's 75 laps. It is the Rock, and little Days of Thunder here, Joe.
I'll tell you what, Mike. This is a beautiful speedway. Andy Hillenberg was the owner the last time I was at the Rock. And I'll tell you what, the cars get flying at this place. This is going to be a good race, Dylan. I can't wait for this one.
I was prepared to lay on my couch tonight to watch the Xfinity race at Bristol, but Mother Nature had different plans. So I'm with my good buddies up here and Vidane TV to call some e-racing and another ARCA race here at the Rock. I've watched all the great NASCAR races from back in the day here at the Rock, and we're going to see some Atlanta Canadians and a few Americans tried out here on the iRacing tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got to thank the Laker News again. Pat Healy's actually going to be helping out Tim in the scores booth as well. And I like the name for this race. Mike wants to rock. Well, here we are at the Rock. We're going to have some fun this evening.
Dylan, I even tuned up by watching Days of Thunder last night on Prime. So this is going to be a good night. Little ARCA racing, and what a stocked field of racers we got here tonight. Sprinkled in Brett Suggs from North Carolina, lots of Nova Scotia, and all right throughout the board.
Yeah, it's really like the same suspects we've been seeing a lot in these racers and races, and they're always putting on a good show here. And you can see some of the fast times there in qualifying. So Mike Alexander, Goodwin, Corey Hall, so the top 8 are going to be moving on to the race right away. So they're going to get their slot guaranteed. And 22 starters, so the field's a little shorter than usual. 4 heats on deck tonight, 3 last chance qualifiers. And we're going to kick off with the first heat race in just mere moments. First one coming up, 8 laps around the Rock, and a familiar face here, Noel Fougere in the 36 is going to be starting first here for heat race number 1. And once we get all the cars lined up, Joe, we've got Stephen Matthews in that 56, kind of similar to a pro stock driver you see all the time, Josh Collins.
You betcha. And he's going to be bullet fast here tonight. Going to be a lot of fast cars. Going to be an entertaining night. Good time to tune in right here to Vidane TV.
You can see some of the other cars there. There's Richard Beasley in the 10 ride, the tide ride, if you will, next to Miller. There's Daniel Vitch in the 29. Next to him in the 23.
You got that right.
I've been practicing all week long. There's Jared Butcher in the 54. Hasn't answered the call quite yet. Campbell Delaney in the 9, rocking some GM Goodwrench colors. Corey Hallett in the 057 at the top of the track. And Caden Tufts in that Dale Jarrett 88 at the bottom. So Tim was telling us, Tim Terry, the great Tim Terry, was telling us that these heat races will probably feature about 9 to 10 cars, and it's going to be about the same for the last chance qualifiers. Top 3 are moving on to the Mike Wants to Rock 75 coming up in just a little bit. The last chance qualifiers, only 1. There will only be 1 moving on to the race later on.
It's funny.
It's been a little while since I've been with you guys, and the last time I was out here, I want to say Noel's car didn't have as many colors as what it does tonight. Looks pretty good there with CarQuest on it.
It seems like they change up the paint schemes when we switch over to ARCA, and I kind of get lost because when we're in the super lates, I get used to the cars. But Joe, we're going to get ready to go. Pace truck's gone, and Fougere locks it and loads it and takes off, and a huge gap between him and the 56 right now.
Yeah, the 56, that Josh Collins-looking machine, pulling up in second spot there. He is in Noel's tracks. Have a look at this.
It didn't take long for the 56 there, Dylan, to catch up to Noel Fougere, but what a launch by Fougere. But now we got a top 3 race here for the top 3, and the 10 of Richard Beasley right hot the trot on the 56.
He's fast in that tied ride, but really the top 2 also. Whoa, we got a car at the top of the track. It looks like that's Miller getting knocked out of the side and slamming into that safer barrier at the top of turn 1 and turn 2, but he's still rolling frontward, at least here on lap number 2. Your leader is still Noel Fougere, and Stephen Matthews right behind him, that very fast 56, Joe.
Absolutely, and look at this, the 54 of Jared Butcher on the roll. He's up into the 4th slot.
And the 10 now, Richard Beasley is going to take over that 2 spot on Stephen Matthews. Slides into with the tide. Nice and clean, like tide to go. And now sets his sights on Noel Fougere.
I'm wondering if that's Tide Mountain Fresh or Tide Cold Water. Either way, that's a fast 10 ride, kind of rolling through. And with about halfway through in this heat race, he's going to have some time to catch up to Noel in that CarQuest Kellogg's ride. And you mentioned there, Joe, the paint schemes do change up quite a bit. Noel has been driving a white 36 car in the super late models, but different cars, different paint schemes, as Noel is mighty fast in that 36. He's going to lead another lap here in heat race number 1.
Absolutely. Beasley in that 10 on the roll, as well as Stephen Matthews in that 3rd spot. Kind of the same distance between these guys.
Yeah, looking at the score clock right now, the time on Jared Butcher is pretty much the same as our leader, Noel Fougere. So some quick laps back there from Jared Butcher and trying to get it going. But we only got 4 laps to go here, Dylan.
4 laps to go, but top 4 will be moving on to the Mike Wants to Rock 75 coming up in just a little bit. So the 54 is safe for now with Miller a few seconds behind. In fact, Jared's starting to catch up to the 56, Stephen Matthews. So he's definitely got a cushion to kind of hold off and maybe drive carefully. But, I mean, that car's starting to creep in on the 56.
We're going to have to put a button on your keyboard so that when you say Mike Wants to Rock 75, there's like gothic heavy metal behind your voice.
We could use a little bit of metal. Oh, no! Oh! The wall. Speaking of heavy metal, the metal slams into the wall, and he falls back a few positions. That is not good. Stephen Matthews clips the wall, and he's facing the wrong way. We're still green flag racing at the Rock, but heartbreak right away for the 56 on heat race number 1.
Final lap for Noel Fougere. Can he do it? I think he can. That 36 car looking good down through 3-4, and he'll come back to the checkers at the Rock.
Yeah, really unfortunate for Stephen Matthews, but he did a ride on that wall there, so he'll have another shot here before we're through this evening here. But Noel Fougere is your winner, and followed by Richard Beasley, Jared Butcher, and Ethan Miller making the big show here, boys.
Ethan Miller was a driver who clipped the wall early on. We figured he probably would have faded back quite a bit, but no, he's going to be moving on to the Mike Wants to Rock 75 coming up at Rockingham Speedway. Other drivers have to fight it out in the consolation races coming up. And the cool thing with iRACING, if you're just joining us here on Tim's Corner Motorsports and Vidane TV, we don't got to wait for all the cars going off track and the crews to sweep the turns to get anything out of the way. We just go, bam, right to another race. And there's David Cassidy, 2. It must be his clone or something. And the Captain Morgan, number 3. And, hey, you know, the captain's here tonight. Maybe you're having some captain and coach hanging out with some other people watching tonight's race. Thanks for joining us again. Dylan Langell, Mike James, Mike on the Rock, Joe Chisholm, Brandon Campbell in the 99, kind of creeping ahead of the number 3 is he's going to be starting on the outside. There's Todd Cousins in the number 2. And the number 1, I believe that's Craig McDonald, 98 on the screen, but number 1 as well. Hey, there's Corey Reed in the 27, first time seeing him in a while here on iRacing. There's Andrew Lively in the 015, Legends Racer on his outside. Going through the rest of the field, you can see some of the drivers we've seen before, including John Byron. And there is the number 5 up top of Craig Tully, whose hood flew up a few times the last time I was watching the ARCA cars. Mark Williams in the Lowe's 42 at the back, Joe.
Yeah, is that the same Mark Williams that I'm familiar with, usually in a legend car?
I think so. I think so. I'm learning all these drivers as well, but Mark has been on a lot of these e-races as well, which has been pretty.
Good stuff. As the field is doubled up behind that beautiful iRacing pace truck, I'm going to turn these boys loose. Going to take the top 4. And it's going to be another great race here. I can feel this one, Mike James. This is going to be a dandy.
Yeah, pace truck has exited, and the 3-car of David Cassidy gets a nice jump. But look at the 99 stacking them up behind him and open the door for the Todd Cousins in the 2. But they finally get it going for the 99, Brandon Campbell.
Oh, McDonald gets turned around in turn 1. Sorry to jump in there, but he got turned around. I think he was able to save it, though. Wow,
no caution.
We may have to get a Vidane replay coming up for that one. He was completely facing the other way, but Craig's falling back here, and we're gonna get this replay queued up. I thought he completely turned around. Wow, he was able to correct. That's insane. We're just bringing up this replay here. Look, a little contact there with the car below him. He saved it. He could have went right in the wall there. Wow.
Yeah, we're used to seeing Craig McDonald with the 98, but he's in the 1 car here tonight. But it kind of all started on the start of the race there. The 99 kind of stacked him up behind him. Brandon Campbell was late to the prom there on the start. David Cassidy got the jump, and everybody started stacking up behind him. And hence Craig McDonald got a little bit of frustration on that start. So hopefully he can make it up. There's 5 laps to go here for heat race number 2, Joe.
Cassidy looking good in the 3-car. Campbell in second, Cousins third. Guys are doing a great job out there. Stephen Lively, he's picking it up into the 4th spot right now.
The cool thing with these ARCA cars, this series continued racing at the Rock even when NASCAR left in 2004. So these style cars are very familiar with this legendary track, which should be on the NASCAR schedule. Hopefully one day can be revived once again. We did see the NASCAR trucks here briefly for a few years earlier last decade, which I know sounds weird saying a new decade, but we are in the terrible 2020s, if you want to call it, because yeah, here we are still watching iRacing. But here's some passes. There's Craig McDonald in the 1 after spinning on lap number 1. He's already chomping through the field, and he is already in 7th, and he can see the 0-15 of Andrew Lively in his sights, but he's going to have to get some extra horsepower to catch up if he wants to transfer right away to the 75 lapper tonight.
Ooh, well, in Facebook land, lots of fans joining in early here in the heat races. If you're out there, who you cheering for? Where you from? Are you wishing that we're back racing? I bet you are. You know, what a beautiful weekend we had here in Newfoundland. Unfortunately, no racing, but Joe, she was blowing a gale. That's a terminology for Dylan to pick up on.
I heard that one.
She was blowing me down about 80 miles an hour here tonight. So
spent 2 years out in Newfoundland at the beautiful Eastbound Park, and I'll tell you, I can only remember like 1 or 2 nights where the wind wasn't howling out there. 2 to go for the 3.
Yeah, Daytona's got the draft, and we actually have Mother Nature draft at Eastbound.
The good thing with iRacing, can't feel that darn wind picking up, and you don't have to bat down the hatches. We've got the number 3 of David Cassidy well in front of Campbell in the 99. On the final lap, the 3 in that Captain Morgan ride, he's going to set sail to the checkered flag, and he's going to take heat race number 2. Campbell's going to drive home 2nd, Cousins in 3rd, Andrew Lively going to squeeze in and grab the last transfer spot to move on directly to the Mike Wants to Rock 75, presented by our good buddies at Laker News, again, for stepping up and sponsoring tonight's race. You can see some of the results quickly on screen. Rest of the drivers that didn't finish in the top 4, they get to consolation race, and those consolation races are sometimes the best races of the night because the drivers are so desperate to make the big show. And tonight, with only 1 driver per last chance qualifier, I think the intensity is going to be turned up to probably 15.
Oh, I'd say tonight it's going to be insane on the last chance for romance. You know, nothing's better than desperation love. So we're getting ready to go for heat race number 3, and sitting on the pole, look at that, Brandon Lively and the 84, the youngster from Newfoundland. And look at the hood on the 84. Noah Healy throwing, what is that guy's name?
Bob Ross.
Yeah, all I remember is him on Channel 2 on Saturday night cartoons on Detroit TV, but unbelievable, great scheme there from Noah Healy, and completing the field there, the 87, Danny Chisholm, another youngster, They're going to have the 19 from Ryan Walsh from the Rock, as well as the 91 Jason Halverson, 74 Mike Rhino, and then we got 65 Colin Matthews, Byron Bartlett not making a call here, Dylan, and also Doug Hubley completing the field.
Yeah, sometimes those drivers are maybe sleeping at the keyboard and don't answer the call right away. Funny thing, last time we saw that Bob Ross car, my parents were watching the race, and I mentioned that my youngest brother loves Bob Ross, but never ever watched the show before, and we questioned him, saying, "Hey, like, have you actually watched this show yet?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, I watched him on YouTube. I know about the happy little trees in the background."
Yeah.
So Bob
I'm not
Ross
sure what he was smoking on Saturday mornings, but here we go. The 70 gets a good launch. Brandon Lively. And look at that. The 87 now turning up the wick and takes the inside on our leader. Woo! Oh, baby. It's getting cranked here on lap number 1.
Yeah, Danny Chisholm in the 87. He's got that Exxon machine just humming on the bottom of the racetrack. Pins it nice and low through turns 1 and 2. He's got the 70 to his outside. We'll see.
Where the hell did Mike Rhino come from?
Yeah, he's coming.
He's charging like
He's coming hard.
He's charging like a rhino through the field, and that's 74 underneath the 70. Earlier this week, Danny's dad actually sent me a photo. Danny outqualified William Byron. Oh, the 70's crooked, and there's a caution out on the track now. First caution in the heat races. Just to finish up what I was saying, we can see that Danny is lightning fast, and Ryan Walsh, a lot of damage on the 19 as he tries to get the car straightened out. Danny Chisholm out-qualified William Byron in an iRacing race earlier this week. So a driver who's been consistently fast and won pretty much every NASCAR E-race. Danny's got the wheels, and speaking of wheels, there were some wheels up in the air. Mr. Paul Strickland Jr., what happened?
Oh, wreck happened. We're going to take a look at the Shed Live Shed Movers instant replay here. It's the Ryan Walsh on screen, the number 19 car. And you see the 91 is out of shape, and he just collects the 19, hits him, sends him onto the wall. That was a big hit. You see, and he hits the inside wall where there's no safer barrier there. Luckily, in iRacing, the safer barriers don't matter
look at the back bumper. It says, "Oh, me nerves."
Oh, me nerves is right. We're going to take a look at this from Jason
Newfoundland
Allison.
lick.
Any relation to Wayne Walsh there, Mike?
No, Ryan is actually a stout little iRacer. You know, he's a hobby stock racer that has raced a couple of times at Eastbound. Hoping to see him back on the track. Very patient driver, and it's been great to see him here in the iRacing series for Tim Motorsports over the last 4 or 5 weeks. But awesome little racer, and hopefully we'll see him back in the Consi. And unfortunately for him, he just got collected there. But great paint scheme, and another one for you, Paul. You got the wobbly pops, and now you got oh me nerves.
Oh me nerves, me wobbly pops are running dry.
And she's getting tangly. She's getting dangly.
I tell you, grandmother not going to like that one.
You know what? I did a thing yesterday. My good deed of the year. I went to the Ronald McDonald House with 28 tuner cars for a young fella who just graduated a year doing cancer treatments and didn't get to go to his graduation. And we had a great old time, but he was from the west coast of Newfoundland, and I could hardly understand a word he was saying to me. And I'm from here, so I heard a lot of different dialect that day. But it was great to be out there. What a day we had! Beautiful day, and great to see the motorsport community come out and help out a young fella celebrate his day.
That's awesome. During this week as well, I don't know if how many people on watching this tonight like the Newfoundland turn up on Facebook, but there was there was some that had me roaring. I think it was Gander.
We've been on that quite some often at Eastbound.
Gander Fire makes a post. Oh, fire call 315, 317 called off. Towton caused a little fire spark.
We were on the turnip for a car show called Show Us Your Bird for the Trans Am Club, and they thought it was quite racy, but I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
You know, what's wrong with Show Us Your Bird?
No, nothing. Nothing.
And you know what? Smokey was on the cover of the poster, so it was even better.
Too much fun. Pace truck hits pit road. Danny Chisholm hits the loud pedal, but he's got company on the outside.
Caution laps do count here for this heat race. You can see there's only 4 laps to go, 3 laps to go now. Mike Rhino's that 74 car on the outside with the 70 of Lively. Brandon Lively now tucks behind the number 74, Mike Rhino. Meanwhile, you've got the rowdy scheme of Danny Boy Chisholm in the 87 starting to speed away from the 74 and the 70. Coming up to 2 to go, Mikey.
Yeah, Chisholm looks super fast. You look at the best time here for the heat race here. He's almost a half a second faster on some of these laps. So he's going to be a strong contender for the main event as we get to go through these heat races. Mike Rhino looking really sharp here today, but your top 4, Colin Matthews, is going to be the battle back there in P4.
I wouldn't right now. Chisholm, Rhino. Whoop. Look at that. It changed as I'm yabbering away here. Matthews, Lively. Those are your top 4. Noah Healy back in 5th.
Just on the outside of the window. He's got to pick it up, but it's going to be probably too late for the 84. And hopefully we'll see him do a little bit better in the consolation. But it's going to be the all Danny Chisholm show. Look at the lap time. Throws down a 23.64. Pretty fast lap time for Danny Chisholm here as he takes the white or checker flag here. For heat race number 3, followed by Mike Rhino, Colin Matthews, and look at that, Noah Healy has made it to the top 4. He did make it through. What happened to Brandon Lively? Lively was there, and now he's not on the screen. So something, I'm not sure if Paul could fill us in what happened to Brandon Lively, but Noah Healy will be in the top 4. Unbelievable.
Yeah, Healy made it into the top 4, just trying to, unfortunately with the heat racing, iRacing just kind of jumps from race to race, so we're not able to go back to the replay. But I'm not, I see Healy made the 4th spot. I'm not sure what happened.
Well, youngster from Newfoundland making it the top 4. Take us home there, Joe. Who we got coming up there for heat race number 4?
Heat race number 4. Who do we got here? You're going to, you know what? My phone's dead.
Brett Suggs. Brett Suggs, winner at Phoenix last weekend.
Yeah, he put on a show, Dylan.
Fast number 33, one of the American drivers here. There's Scott Dross in the 45 car. One of the Newfoundland drivers, Jason Gosse, he was featured on Tim's Corner Motorsports Facebook today. Dave Horton rocking the old Kyle Petty colors in the 73. Now we got Tony Wright in the Menards 93 at the top side of the track, and the 38, that's Travis Roma. A little back after that, the 67 Wade Craswell. And the final car to try and make the big show tonight from PEI, Tanton Woolridge in the 00.
See, you got a bit of Newfoundland in you. I heard "rockin' me," and that's not proper English. You got a bit of Newfoundland in you over there in Nova Scotia.
Yeah. Yes, bye.
I got a feeling some of the Newfoundlanders on the way to Toronto took a left and ended up in Nova Scotia and gave you a few licks over the years.
well, maybe. You know, it's cheaper rent here in Nova Scotia compared to Toronto, though, for sure.
Yeah, no. Well, you go up the Grand Prairie, it's so cool to see all the East Coast guys. So we are ready to rock here, and the pace truck's gone. And look at that, Brett Suggs with a huge launch here, Joe. He's going to be chased down by the 45 of Scott Drost and Jason Gosse jumping into the P3.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see too much daylight between these cars here. Give it a little bit more time. That 41 car is on the move.
Dude, 41 has been training for the Eastbound Virtual Series. Had a big night there the other night with young Codner, and he's got the spotter from the Reed team out there in Fort McMurray. He's one of the top contenders from the Rock.
So I think we may have been a bit wrong. I think it's top 3 moving on to the heats, or moving on to the feature tonight from the heats. So well, I just was kind of recapping my notes, and I just saw a comment. So we'll scratch that. It's okay. It's Saturday.
Noah Healy is going to send you a disgruntled email.
Whatever, brother. I'm wearing a tank top. Come at me, brother.
Anyway, come at me.
Top race all much better, right?
Top 3 are going to be, and it's going to make it even more intense, really, in the consolation race because there is one less spot. So top 3 are moving on, and that means Dross in the 45s in that last transfer position. So we got everything straightened away now. So the 45's in that last transfer spot, but he doesn't have much competition behind him. But he does have that number 41 of Gosse in front. But man, Brett Suggs got a heck of a start on the green flag, and he pulled away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, the North Carolina native has got a great little setup going on for the iRacing series while he's out of the real car and the track. So put on a show here early. But Dave Horton, here's a who back there, is on the outside of the window looking in on Scott Dross. That will be the battle. As you just told us, we are only taking the top 3 for all the fans at home. Jason Gosse, what a beauty move just earlier on, taking that position away from Scott Dross and securing that mid pack for the transfer.
4 to go in this heat race. We'll take the top 3, add them to the rest, and a hooligan race coming up. This is going to be
Hooligan
cards.
I like that term, hooligan racing. It's certainly going to be a misfit race for sure, with drivers gunning for that one position. We know only one driver's moving on from consolation race. 2 to go for Brett Suggs in the 33, using the horsepower he had last Saturday night racing at Phoenix. He's coming around the rock here right on the bottom, and he's got a 2.5 lead in front of Jason Gosse. And Scott Ross in the 45 is still holding the final transfer spot. I don't know how close the 73 is to that 45 yet, but Mikey, we're coming around 1 lap to go.
Yeah, it's unfortunately for Travis Roma back there in the 5th position. He's been running pretty fast laps, almost close, about a 10th out from Brett Suggs, but he's going to be on the outside here looking in. But Travis Roma trying to make a thing here on the 73, but he's still got a lot to go. But it's going to be your top 3. Brett Suggs, Jason Gosse, and Scott Dross is your top 3.
You can see that battle. It's just gunning for basically position and getting experience now. Roma throws on the inside. It's a drag race for 4th. 73 still going to get 4th, but that's not going to get you to the main dance tonight. You still got to wait in line for a ticket to try and get to that Mike Wants to Rock 75. So that's your finishing order. Suggs, Gosse, and Dross, they're moving on directly to the races. More races coming up here. The hooligan races, as Smoke and Joe put it. They're coming up in the hooligan. They're coming up in just a moment with top 1. The one driver who finishes first, moving on to the 75 lapper.
And we have one more heat race.
No, we're going right to the hooligan races.
Ooh, the hooligans.
Going right to the hooligan races.
Joe, tell us about the bass fishing, how they and how do they mate? He doesn't want to talk nature, I think.
No comment, maybe?
Dragonflies, bass, bass. Turn up the bass.
Turn up the bass, man.
Turn up the bass.
Well,
Strickland.
We're gonna turn up the intensity here in just a moment. This is last chance qualifier hooligan race number 1. The 80 of Miller at the top there, P1. Dave Horton, who we just watched finish 4th, is going to be on the outside starting second. There's Ryan Walsh after taking a big lick to the wall in the 19. Craig McDonald, the 98/1, the Coca-Cola ride, starting 4th outside of row number 2. Heartbreak for Stephen Matthews in his heat race, if you remember. He spun out and fell all the way back. Now he's going to try and get to first. Wade Craswell in the 67, the MGD ride 67. And Jason Halverson in 7th on his outside. So only 7 cars, but going for 1 position. And right now, that 80 cars got it. Can he hold on to it for a few laps?
Joe, some big dogs in this one. So this is going to be a goodie for our first hooligan race. Oh, Joe's probably out on the beach, is he?
He may be. He maybe just stepped out for a mere
the chipmunks
moment. He could be. I saw he was stacking wood before, so he was stacking a little bit of the
what
fire.
What a spot he's got up there, up in the Muskokas.
Dude, it makes me jealous, but it's good to have everyone here watching tonight on Vidane TV and Tim's Corner Motorsports. The Mike Wants to Rock 75, presented by the Laker News. Consolation race number 1 is underway. Ethan Miller gets in front of the 73 and the rest of the field. 3 wide going into turn 1 already. That's Craig McDonald not wasting time.
Oh.
He wants to try and pounce and get to first right on the first lap.
Man, Craig McDonald and Ryan Walsh really turned up the wick there to make it 3 wide. Walsh there tipping in and making it safe play. Did not want to wreck there, but what a battle for position number 3. The 73 of Dave Horton's got a field of wolves behind him.
Yeah, he's got a lot of people trying to pounce on him. You can see Craswell and Walsh. They're duking it out there. But again, only the first place finisher is moving on to the Mike Wants to Rock 75. Oh, the 73 clips the wall, and he clips the wall on the inside too. Ouch.
Damn.
That's going to hurt. Dave Horton slammed the inside wall. Still green flag racing, so that's pretty much going to end the night for the Hot Wheels 73. He He was in third for a moment, but now he is in seventh. That will not transfer you to the race, and we'll get a replay queued up here to see what happened. So we'll bring it up here and watch the 73. I think he just got loose. You can see he kind of slides to the top, and Matthews goes under him, and yeah, he just kind of clips the wall, and after that, I think he just was kind of on for the ride, and bam, he slams it inside wall again. No safer barrier here at the Rock there, and you can see he's going down pit road, back watching the leaders again here. Hooligan race number 1, Ethan Miller's got the number 1 right in here's rear vision mirror, Mike.
This is a big opportunity for Craig McDonald as he came from all the way from the back of the pack almost, and now in position 2 and hunting down Ethan Miller in the 80. Craig McDonald, very stout driver over the last 4 to 5 weeks. This is going to be an interesting final 7 laps. This is going to be a battle between the 80 and the 1.
Joe, if you're back stacking wood, you've been missing this big battle here with Craig McDonald jumping in front of me. Now we're on board with the 98/1. He's probably going to have to maybe give a little bit of a love tap to the 80 of Miller as they're both on the inside. I haven't really been seeing the inside lane work, but he's staying right in his tire tracks. Craig McDonald in the 98 halfway through. Hooligan race number 1. He starts to reel him in as if we're bass fishing here. He's got the 80 right in his sights.
Yeah, those hands are awful busy inside that car of Craig McDonald, and for good cause, too. He is starting to reel that leader in. This is going to be interesting to see how this one finishes up. What do we got? 5 to go.
Yeah, and Ethan Miller, just a little wobble there coming into the corner. Craig McDonald a little bit stronger now, getting up on the back bumper here. Is he going to hold it? And there it comes. It could get into a drag race down the front stretch.
Side by side going into turn number 1. Miller's on the outside. He edges in front. They both slide up the track. Now the number 1 McDonald's on the inside going to try and do the crossover side by side. Down to turn number 3. Miller's on the high side. McDonald makes the pass. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. McDonald's in first, and that is the only transfer position.
Well, it wasn't too soon. He does have a huge gap right now on Ethan Miller, but if Ethan Miller does get up into that back bumper and holds it for the right time, this could be Ethan Miller. Oh!
Got a little too anxious, I believe. Shoved just a little bit out of the turn, and bam, right off the fence.
And as I was saying, the 80 was, maybe going to hold it for the last lap, but now he's your new leader. Now Craig McDonald's got to get back on it. Does he have damage, guys? Is that going to be a factor here?
He's definitely got the fastest car as he's so close to the wall. And you can see Stephen Matthews also starting to reel in your leaders here. So it could be a 3-way dance coming up with 2 laps to go. McDonald again starting to reel in the 80 even after slamming that wall. 2 to go at the Rock.
Well, it's about a 4/100th of a second. Craig McDonald does have the fastest lap on the board here, but both drivers now throwing it down for the final 2 laps. Can Ethan Miller hold off the hot trot McDonald? And here it comes. He's going to put the challenge on that rear quarter.
One more time around here at the Rock. McDonald's got him right in his sight lines. White flag is out. Miller is holding his own, but McDonald is mighty fast, and I think turn 3 and 4 is going to be the move. Charging down to the final turns, McDonald in the 1. This is the last chance to move on to the Mike Wants to Rock 75. Miller in the 80, going to try and hold off McDonald. Can McDonald get the run on the inside? He's going to try and peek there. They're side by side. It's not going to be enough. Miller's going to move on.
Whoa!
Oh, and he wrecks himself after the start finish. You see the move where he came all the way from the top all the way to the inside, trying to get every square inch there, every bit of real estate. Craig McDonald tried to throw everything at him there on that final corner.
Craig was basically mowing the grass there coming out of turn 4. I mean, he was on the grass there to try and just get any advantage he could, but not going to make it. That means the 80 will win this race, and moving on to the Mike Wants to Rock 75.
Who made up these rules that we're only taking 1? That's just that's horrible.
Terry.
Hey, you know what? Doesn't it really turn up the intensity? You could have seen the top 3 taking it easy there. Instead, we had a little fight there for the top position.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting night. We got another hooligan race coming up, Joe, and you got your live timing fixed there, bud?
I do, actually. I do. But
Take us
look
home.
at this. We've got Delaney up front in the 9 car. Travis Roma is going to take up the 2nd spot. No,
Oh,
Maybe-
Andrew Lively was late there. He
Okay.
is your pole setter.
Oh, there you go. Andrew Lively just popped up to the top. So Delaney will be in that second spot. Roma back in third. Hughley is going to be in the fourth spot. Mark Williams in the fifth spot. Sixth, I've lost it, guys. What's
Caden
going on
Tufts.
with my phone isn't working all the world's best right now.
That's the Bob Ross car, right? So old Bobby Ross is going to be at the front row looking very pretty. And John Byron on his outside in second. You can see Corey Hallett in that 057. Byron Bartlett in the 7. Woolridge in the 00. Lively, Tully, Bitch. So these are the final drivers. This is the last chance to make the dance coming up here in just a few moments.
Well, I just got a picture from Joe, and that does not look like a McCain's pizza. I don't know what he's got brewed up there, but it's making me hungry.
Oh, hey,
The only thing I don't understand is why I don't see any Muskoka craft beer there. Sipping the old water.
Yeah,
You're just so excited on this Saturday night, Joe.
that's exactly right.
Maybe he's on the ganja.
No,
You're eating pizza.
no, yeah.
Well, the 84 is on the front line. He will have the shotgun here, which is a huge advantage here in iRacing. But here we go. Pace truck is exited. Noah Healy gets the hammer, and off we go. Look at that. The 57 going to go side to side with him. 84, huge race there earlier on, but he's going to give up that lead to John Byron as Byron comes on hot.
Just to give a little quick update, I think we may have went off the air for just a mere moment during that last Hooligan race. Andrew Lively won that race. If you just missed out on the action there, we got everything live again on Vidane TV and Tim's Corner Motorsports again. Lively moving on to the Mike Wants to Rock 75. So thanks for getting on this other video here with John Byron in first, Noah Healy in second, lap 2 of 12 here tonight at the Rock.
Well, it's all Byron right now. Noah Healy in that position number 2. Tanton Woolridge. He's throwing some pretty good lap times down there, so we'll see what happens here. Lots of time here, 10 laps to go as this chess match for the final, I believe this is the final Hooligan race.
You would be right. Yeah, last one. Only one more driver going on to the Mike Wants Rock 75 presented by the Laker News. 3 laps in with John Byron well out in front of Tanton Woolridge, and Woolridge in the 00 starting to get up there and get up there pretty quick. That's an Islander driver, I believe a Bandolero driver at Oysterbed Park, Oysterbed Speedway, a lovely track that I hope to get to soon enough. 57 kind of hooking the apron a bit and slowly starting to slide up just a mere bit. But he's got a big lead over the 00 and the number 5, Mike.
Yeah, Noah Healy way off the pace right now, all the way back to position number 6. Not sure what happened there, but it's unfortunate for the 84 now as he tries to bridge that gap. Last lap was 40 seconds, so not looking good for the 84.
It's just the things can happen here in iRacing, and it doesn't go your way. And unfortunately, it didn't go the way of that driver, the 84 Healy. He is far back, a lap down. Byron, Woolridge, and Tully's the top 3 again. Only one driver, that's P1. First place is going on to the big show coming up here in a bit. 75 laps around the Rock and the ARCA style cars. This last chance race is 12 laps here at the former North Carolina Speedway, Rockingham Speedway now. You can see the 57 trailing now to turn number 3. He's got a 2-second lead in front of Tully now. Tully's in second.
Yeah, John Ryan is the fastest car on the track right now, about 0.3 of a second faster on his best lap. So Byron pretty much in control of this right now with 5 to go here. This is your last qualifier, like I said. John Bryan really wants to get into this final, the big show here tonight. The Mike Wants to Rock 75.
And we're gonna rock, we're gonna roll, and some heads are gonna roll probably as we're gonna see tight racing coming up here with 75 laps around the Rock. If you're just hopping on this Facebook Live video again and Vidane TV on their streaming platforms, Facebook and YouTube as well. Byron is the leader from Cape Breton, 57 from Nova Scotia. We're watching a lot of Canadians race tonight. I believe Brett Suggs is the only American, as he's pretty much been the lone soldier from the States a few times racing in these TCM events. Spur of the moment TCM event. We decided to do this a couple nights ago. No NASCAR on tonight. We figured, you know what? Let's show off some of Atlantic Canada's best, including a few Americans sprinkled in here. 57's led every single lap so far. Tully is now 3 seconds behind. He's going to be praying for a caution.
And just so you know, I did not come up with the name of the race.
Who did? Was it Tim?
Tim threw three tracks at me, and I said I always wanted to go to the Rock. With the new ownership that was trying to get a revival the last couple of years, so I wanted to do this race. So he's decided to give me the title. So Tim's a little crafty sometimes, but John Byron is way out front right now, in full control of this last race. But you never know. 3 laps to go here, Joe. If you don't get that pizza in your mouth. This is going to be an exciting 75-lap main event as we finalize who's going to be the final competitor in the big show.
Yeah, well, you can count this number 57 as in here. He is doing a great job. Just 2 laps to go, and he is going to make that Mike Wants to Rock.
He could run over a nail or something. You never know.
Well, I don't know about that, Mike. I don't know if there's any nails out there.
He could do, cold trickle, over rev the engine, blow it up.
It could be like Mario. It could be like Mario Kart when the blue shell comes from last place and takes out the leader in turn 3. But no Mario Kart action tonight. That's for the kids. Here
No
for
bananas.
the big boys. No bananas either. No red shells for the 57. Byron's going to the Rock show tonight and not the concert. He's going to the Mike Wants to Rock 75. Byron wins. Everyone else is going to have to watch on Vidane TV. And Tim's Corner Motorsports, the heats and the LCQs are all done. Just like that, we have finished up here. Wow, what fast racing we had. And we'll get the lineup all tuned up here with a few minutes to kill here, about 3 minutes, so you can get
we got to get set here now for the halftime show. Dylan, Twisted Sister is going to do a live performance for us.
Now, what song are we opening up with? Are we opening up with The
I
Price?
Wanna Rock.
No,
I
The
Wanna
Price.
Rock.
We got to get a ballad to kick things off.
No, Twisted Sister, I Want to Rock.
Okay.
Hit it, Paul.
Okay, folks.
Or is it going to be the generic?
Here, if you're able to, would you please rise for singing of "O Canada"?
O Canada, our home and native land. True patriot love in all of us command. Quand ombre se porte l'épée, il se porte la croix.
From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Drivers, start your engines.
You want to know what makes your favorite food taste even better? Not having it for a while. You want to know what makes the holidays so great? Only having them once a year. You want to know what made your first visit to the racetrack the best? Never having that experience before. When we have too much of something, it's easy to take it for granted. This is a reminder to appreciate every track, every race, every crew member, and every win. Because there will be a time when those moments seem out of reach.
And we're back live here at Rockingham for the Mike Wants to Rock 75. Dun, 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 or however the song goes. Just took a look at the Tim's Corner Motorsports, essentially national anthem highlight reel, I like to call it. Beautiful rendition there. And then we slipped right in to a video done by Stafford Speedway's own Nicola Rose, kind of reminding us all how important racing is to all of us. We got a lot of, I know everybody up here in the booth, everybody at Vidane TV, got a lot of family, got a lot of friends, close friends at the racetrack that we kind of take for granted, and that's kind of what that video was all about. Gave us a recognition that we all miss the racetrack, we all miss our friends and family, and man, I want to go racing. I know you guys do.
Yeah, even from pit gate to the ticket takers to the people in concessions, you know, the racetrack for everywhere across North America, it is a family. And you know, when it comes to the racers, you know, sometimes there could be a few choice words against each other, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of camaraderie. I can't say that word.
For you to say, Mike.
That's a hard one for Newfoundland to say. Someone help me out there from the United States.
Camaraderie. Nailed it.
Camaraderie. I still can't say it, buddy.
Camaraderie.
Pirates can't say that. Arr.
Fisherman's friend, right, Mike?
And the certain words just don't come out. It's that Irish pirate weird shit that goes on.
None of that. You got enough beeping time.
It's 10:30. You're allowed to say shit.
No, you're not.
He's running the shit. Mike's footing the bill and footing the fines, isn't he?
I'm sponsor. This is a PG-13. We're stepping it up tonight. We're not rated G.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Well, here we go. Dylan,
boys,
take us home. We got the grid started.
Boys, we got to have some rational thoughts here as we are starting off. The Mike wants to what?
Mike wants to
rock.
Mike wants to rock 75. Rational Richard Drake, Lightning champion at Scotia Speedway. 141 is going to be the pole sitter tonight. He had the fastest car in qualifying. On his outside, starting P2, Tyler Reed in the number 100. Starting third here for the 75 lapper at the Rock, that's John Fitzpatrick from the island, Charlottetown. Barrett Benar in the 4 from the South Shore area, French Shore area of Nova Scotia. Brad Eddy in that 6. He won a couple weeks ago in North Wilkesboro in these ARCA cars. Corey Hall, fast guy in that 83, in the Navy 83. Behind him, Jake Goodwin, and the final qualifier to not have to race in the heats, Mr. Magic Mike Alexander in the 75. And as we go through the field, you're going to see the winners of the heat races and the top finishers, including Noel Fugier, David Cassidy, Danny Chisholm in the 87, also Brett Suggs in that 33. There's Richard Beasley. You can also see Brandon Campbell, the 99. Mike Rhino, he's going to have the charge of the field. Jason Gosse, one of the Newfoundlanders racing tonight. Jared Butcher in the 54. Todd Cousins, a few other drivers that you can see at the top of the screen as we go through the field. 75 laps around the Rock tonight for the ARCA cars, Atlanta Canadians, and American racing here tonight. Green flag is about to come out. The pace truck is pulled off. Not a great start there on the outside lane. Richard Drake gets the green flag.
And the inside dominating once again. And look at the 78, Johnny Fitzpatrick sitting pretty in position number 2, chasing down Rashy Richard Drake.
Rational Richard out to a giant lead on lap number 1 as they start to settle in. After that, it's a hornet's nest of cars scrambling to just get in front. It's all about position here. 75 laps. I don't know if that'll factor in tire wear. Tire wear for sure, but will the cars have to fuel up? I'm not too familiar with the Rock and iRacing. Let's get our Larry Mack here maybe. Showtime Paul Strickland. The Rock here in iRacing, 75 laps. ARCA cars, do you figure this is going to be a...
You know, it's really tough to tell. It really depends on how these guys run. I believe there's a 22-gallon fuel cell in these cars, but as far as the setup goes, we are running a fixed setup. It all depends on how much fuel is put into each of these cars. So, may very well see some pit stops. It's very rare that we see any kind of green flag pit stops in these particular cars, but it'll be tough to tell. We'll have to find out. We'll have to watch here live on Vidane TV.
I just want to tell Paul that was the most horrible Larry Mack impersonation.
I was supposed to impersonate Larry Mack, right? Well, you see, these cars, they have these fuel cells in them, and you put the fuel inside the fuel cells, and that's what makes the car go. How's that? Is that all right?
That makes you just want to crack a beer.
A couple of
Wait, so can you do a John Madden impression and tell us when the quarterback throws the football?
If the race car finishes the line across the line first, he's gonna be the winner.
Oh, we got a yellow flag out as we're reminiscing about different announcers. John Madden has nothing to do with racing, but we've got a football field of cars going very slow on the bottom.
Oh,
Byron's
Johnny
got
Byron.
He's doing the way.
And you guys talked about that last week. The ARCA cars have a different crash model than what we've been seeing in the super lates, and that's why we're seeing the hoods up.
Yeah, it's one of those things that iRacing came out with. They kind of pride themselves on the damage models and trying to make things as realistic as possible. As we're taking a look at the instant replay, we saw the hood up on the there we go. The Captain Coke machine, or the Captain machine, got a little bit squirrely there, mixing the Captain with the Cheerios. Jump up to the 3 car.
I like Captain Coke with root beer.
So that'd be a Captain. Okay, so we see the 41 and the 2 get together, the 45 and the 3 get together, the 60 and the 80 get together. There was about 4 different wrecks that happened there almost simultaneously. We're going to back that up one more time, and we're going to do it a little bit. Oh, too far. We're going to do that.
Man, I know that Cheerios does special combinations sometimes. I don't know if I want to try Captain Morgan Cheerios.
Not after it got shook up like that.
It tastes like Dr. Pepper.
But you see right now on the left hand of your screen, the I can't even tell what car that is. The 2 car gets up into the 99.
Cousins.
They gets a little bit squirrely. Oh, the 2 actually just seems like he loses it. Comes down. Oh, he hits that apron here at the Rockingham, and that's not gonna do anything to him. What the heck? Comes back up, falls in line between the 41 and the 99, and you see. I'm going to back it up an entire lap too much here.
We need the replays like the Cup race on Thursday when they were showing the camera guys taking apart the cameras when Matt Kenseth spun out.
That's what it's all about. I believe it's right here. The 41 and the 2 going for that same piece of real estate. Mix them just a little bit. But then we saw the 3 car. It looks like... Okay, so the 3 car backed up and the 45 did not. So that's what caused that... mix up there, and unfortunately you can see the smoke coming off the tires of 65 trying to lock him up. Doesn't do it. He has to go high, and unfortunately the 80 monster car was there. So
that's the second time that 80 car has taken flight tonight.
That's the first time for everything. I think the most airtime wrecks we've had is 3 here on Verdane TV, so we'll have to see if we can beat that. But back here live on Verdane TV, just want to give a shout out to everybody watching here on Facebook, Tim's Corner Motorsports and Verdane TV, as well as the Verdane TV YouTube page. Apologize, we did go down a little bit earlier, but we got everything back rocking and rolling, so let your friends know you're back here watching Verdane TV live. Tim's Corner Motorsports, one of the ARCA National cars here for the Mike Wants to Rock 75. As the lights are off in the pace car, we're lined up 2 by 2 all the way through. Take it to the green, boys.
I'm going to keep my eye on that number 6 Valvoline car. That Eddie machine is going to play a factor into this race at some point. And where's Danny Chisholm? We'll have to take a look.
Well, a lot of these racers on the front row we had not seen in heat races as they qualified earlier on. So we're just getting a glimpse now of Brad Eddy and Corey Hall and Mike Alexander. But look at that. You looking for the 87. The 87 on a run now in position number 9, moving up through the field. He is a fast car, but he has a minefield as they make it 3 wide. Brad Eddy and Fitzy.
Bam! Corey Hall went underneath and went 3 wide, got around the 36 and Noel Fougere. Corey Hall got around a few cars right away. And, Chisholm gets thrown up the track, contact with another car as they're scrambling, and we got the 10 turnaround as well in the backstretch. If it's a single car incident, probably shouldn't bring out the caution and it will now. Jinx, you mentioned it once.
Jinx.
So we got the 10 car.
It's the freshie.
That definitely that tire smoke. That tire smoke from turning around definitely doesn't smell Tide fresh.
Well, my underwear smells fresh.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to know that.
Must be using a whole mess of Tide, and we'll take a look at the Tide right here of Richard Beasley on the Shed Life Shed Mover instant replay. Is that an NWO car? What? Why weren't we informed about that? But you see the numbers.
But he did a pretty too sweet maneuver to get around.
The 24.
See that one coming right at you.
Yeah, that
Jake
was
Goodwin.
I don't know about that. Luckily, Beasley does a great job. He kind of backs it into the inside wall, but he grabs the gear, gets rolling again. He's going to be restarting towards the pack. Looks like 19th place out of the 22 cars that are still in the field and on the lead lap once we get the lucky dog here. Check that. It's going to be 20 cars on the lead lap.
Man, who tagged Goodwin?
Who tagged Goodwin? I'll take another.
Who was
quick
that car?
look.
Was that the 41? Yeah, it's Jason Gosse. He came in hot.
Yeah, the old term ARCA brakes, unfortunately. As you see, yeah, you can see he tried to dive down on the left, but boy, oh boy, did he miss.
How you doing?
Came up on him. Hey, how you doing?
Where the hell was your spotter from Fort McMurray, Gosse?
Yeah, you can see the.
If he had fresh underwear.
I think they had a.
You can see on the back bumper of the 24 car, it's caved in just a little bit. It's got a little SAWFT soft. Nothing? No wrestling fans?
I saw those guys. I saw those guys live. I saw Big Cass and.
Yeah, I played with dudes, man.
I don't think that was Jason Gosse. There's the 41 right there, right? So that was a different car that hit him. That hit the 24.
I believe it was the two of Cousins that got into the back of the 24. I might be mistaken.
Oh, well, I feel bad for the boys from Fort McMurray.
Well, you can see the damage on the 2 as we're under caution. Caution number 2 here for the Mike Wants to Rock 75 at Rockingham Speedway, the High Banks, a mile track, one of the funnest tracks to race on. Video games over the years, of course, a fan favorite track, which, man, if they don't need fans at the tracks right now for NASCAR, why aren't they at the Rock? There is safer barriers. They just got to take the weeds out and throw some cameras up there.
There's actually been a lot of work been done at the Rock over the last 2 years with the new ownership group, but unfortunately it did not work out. So you might see the Rock come back. It's one of those things that with the right owner, you possibly will see the Rock. I was privileged to some information over last winter.
Oh, getting the 411 on some stuff.
Yeah, man. They had a heavy metal concert there as well. So the Rock may be back in the mix one of these days.
I just can't wait for the People's Champ, The Rock, to come back to The Rock.
See, when I'm sponsoring this race, Paul, I do have one request.
Sure.
For now on, throughout the rest of the evening, I want all cautions been voiced out like Kenny Wallace.
I don't know if I got a Kenny Wallace. I'll dig deep for you, brother. We'll see what we can do.
Dig deep.
Hang on, I'll call Kenny and get him on the line.
Yeah, that's all we'll
He's
do.
just gonna freak the hell out.
I'd do it, but I know he's racing right now.
Yeah, him and Kenny Schrader got their dirt cars racing tonight. They've been doing a lot of the weekend racing, and good to see a lot of the boys in the States getting back on the track. Hopefully here in Canada, we'll get some cars on the track sooner than later, but we're here on the virtual track. There's Corey Hall, a driver who's prepared to do a few Pro Stock races this year for his own team, a few Legends races. On top of the 141, Richard Drake. There's Brad Eddy, Noel Fougere, and rounding at the top 5, the 78, John Fitzpatrick. Lap 15 coming up here for 75. 60 laps to go here at the Rock. Green flag is back out.
Drake to the inside, and how about Corey Hall? Man, that car's really working well. It's probably a Fury machine under him tonight.
Yeah, Corey Hall just really dipped in within an inch of Noel Fougere, and Brad Eddy falling back to position number 4, but Eddy now coming on strong and picks up that spot once again from Noel Fougere. So a little back and forth going on between the 36 and the 6.
Lots of time left in this one. You're going to want to save a little bit too.
Yeah, hopefully they can keep it going so we can have a couple of these 2 wide restarts here. We've seen the single restarts, which are just horrible if you're halfway back trying to catch the leaders. That way it does become difficult, but if they can't get it going, then we have to go to that single file. But we seem to be having a good green run here as Richard Drake, your leader, holding off that 83 of Corey Hall, Dylan.
Well in front of the number 83, Corey Hall, but Corey, man, he's very fast. He started to reel in the 141 on lap 17 to 75, but it's patience here with a good chunk of the race left. You don't want to use up all your race car. We heard from Showtime Paul Strickland. Tire wear going to be a big factor probably at the end. Fuel, we're going to see. It's a bigger track than some of the other tracks we've been at, like North Wilkesboro. The mile and 75 laps, it could line up that fuel at the end could be something to think about. But thinking about nothing right now, that's the 83, Corey Hall, jiving in right on the 141.
Yeah, he's just stalking him. That's what he's doing right now. Corey Hall just having a look at that 141 ahead of him. Drake is doing a great job. Eddie also in that third spot. And I'm having a look a little bit further back in the field there. And Danny Chisholm is on the move. He was 9th a while ago with some contact. He's up to 7th.
Well, right in front of Danny Chisholm, Mike Alexander. We haven't talked about Mike very much tonight, but he's been the magic man throughout the last 4 or 5 weeks in this iRacing series. And he does have the quickest lap of the day here. Mike Alexander in position number 6 has Johnny Fitzpatrick and Noel Fugere in front. So keep an eye on that 75 in front of Danny Chisholm. Mike Alexander might be on the move.
And Mike
he always is that Mike Alexander guy. He is one quick guy in that 75. He'll be making an appearance. 21 laps complete of 75, Dillmeister.
3 cars, 1 position. You could throw a blanket over the 143 and the 6 of Brad Eddy. We were just talking about Magic Mike Alexander in the 75. He finished second at North Wilkesboro last weekend. Mike finished second after taking a challenge from his brother Matthew Barkhouse to go to the back of the field. It almost worked out for him, but no going to the back. He started 10th in this race. He is still sitting in the top 10. Corey Hall now within a car length on the 141, Mike. He is reeling in the leader.
Yeah, we've seen a lot from Corey Hall over the last 4 or 5 weeks, and I'm not sure if we're going to see a challenge from the 83. He's in good position right now. They're running some good, clean green laps. He's got his partner in crime back there, Brad Eddy, I believe from the same team. So they're just coasting around here on a Saturday night. Richard Drake looking, maybe testing the waters. What's the fastest way around here? We haven't seen a big development of different lines here, so this is the time probably for Corey Hall to see where he can test the high side or different lines here.
I think you're going to see Corey Hall pretty well hang out in second as long as Eddie doesn't turn the heat up too much. Soon as the temperature goes up, you can bet Corey Hall's going to start making some moves. Looks kind of comfortable right now, sitting in that second spot. Drake out front.
A third of the way in, 25 laps into 75, 50 to go tonight here. The Mike Wants to Rock and Roll 75 at the Rockingham Speedway. I did my yoga this morning. Namaste. I'm at peace with my body. I'm all calm. The heart rate's down. But, man, the heart rate's going to be going up here as we start to finish off. We've got a third of the way in the books, 2/3 left. Corey Hall still holding in second. After that, Brad Eddy's actually trailed off a little bit in that third spot. He's kind of moved closer back to fourth.
Joe, what was that nickname you had on Dylan for that jacket and up there at
Dazzling Dylan.
Oh, now he's gone to another level. Dazzling, yoga.
Yeah, yoga.
Damn.
Dylan's doing yoga. I'm doing butter tarts.
We're going to have to take Dylan out moose hunting.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, when we get back to Riverside, my legs are going to look fantastic. They're going to be toned as we've got the... Oh, man, we speaking of fantastic, a fantastic maneuver for the 6 to get around the very slow car of Byron. And now look at that. That's Magic Mike Alexander closing in on Brad. That was the 57 of Byron, who we saw get totaled earlier in the race. He was able to qualify in the hooligan races. Mike Alexander's in fourth, closing in on third with Noel Fugere and Fitzpatrick trailing right behind them.
Yeah, these 4 guys are putting a show on right now.
Yeah, they're definitely cranking up the wick right now. Brad Eddy has a full mirror of the 75 as those 3 cars, Alexander, Fugere, and Fitzpatrick, are on a hunt right now for that position number 3. This could get a little tangly.
It's going to get tight for sure as the 78 now underneath the 36. Oh, a little tap there to 36, able to still keep his position on the top side. And you can see more cars also making it a giant posse. Mike Alexander from Dartmouth in the 75, trailing behind another city boy, Brad Eddy in that 6. In front, it still is Richard Drake and Corey Hall. And there's Mike making the move on the inside on lap number 30 of 75 here at the Rock. Mike Alexander going underneath the number 6, Brad Eddy in turn number 1 and 2. Not able to close the deal, though. Eddy gets out in front just a little bit.
Yeah, Eddie keeping the momentum up on the high side of the racetrack. The 75 cut down low and lost a little bit of ground there. Michael regroup. Watch out.
Just so Dylan, the team for Corey Hall, I believe that's Brad Eddy, Corey Hall, as well as Danny Chisholm.
And Craig McDonald.
What a stacked team.
Yeah, it's a pretty big team, that CHR stable. And we saw the CHR stable kind of like the NWO sweeping a podium a few weeks ago at Langley. But now it's Corey Hall still in second. I'm very impressed by the Laker machine. Richard Drake in that 141. He's got a 2.5 lead in front of Corey Hall. And he's got the slower car of Andrew Lively in front. So a few slower cars in front of the leaders here as the 141 is pacing the field coming up to lap 33, Joe.
Yeah, Drake, he is checking out right now. Kind of looks like Corey Hall slowed down a little bit the last time around, and then he picked right back up. But there is definitely, a 1.5 seconds between your leader and second spot right now.
Lots of
goes on.
fan activity on the go right now, and lots of messages coming in here. Dylan for the Mike on the Rock 75.
Is it a lot of nice things for? We got a big battle now for second. Sorry, the love of the 75 car is gonna have to go away here. Corey Hall, his car is going away. Something amiss on that 83. He's been passed by 3 drivers on the back straightaway.
I thought he looked like he was slowing, and then he took off again. So we'll have to watch Corey Hall.
I don't know what happened. The 83 there, he was keeping up pace originally with Richard Drake in the 141, but that 83 has been trailing back now. He settles in behind the 4 of Benar, but man, going from second all the way to 6th in about 2 laps there, not good for Corey Hall.
35 laps gone, 40 to go here, boys. We're getting close to the half. All Richard Drake and Brad Eddy. Unbelievable. Mike Alexander in position number 3.
It would be great to get the audio, in-car audio and the Discord audio. That's
let's crank it up.
It'd be cool. Well, the thing is, we know a few F-bombs and swear words would probably fly in. In fact, Corey Hall may be saying, F, why isn't my car working, as Jared Butcher now goes around the 83. That 83 car is trailing and not having that speed he had earlier. Lap 37 is in the books. Richard Drake has led every single lap so far. Brad Eddy is in second with Mike Alexander in third, but they're still 2 seconds behind the leader, Joe.
Yeah, they sure are. And the 83 car, watching him here, and it seems like the car slows in the turns, and then as soon as he gets it straight, it takes off again. So, I don't know.
Cross flags, lap 38, boys. And there's that tie car. Make my shorts clean.
Yeah, well, he just cleaned up the 83 in turn 3. He goes right around Corey Hall as we're still focusing on the 83. A driver who has won a few of these TCM events, and he's lost a few on pit strategy as well. And tonight, unless there's a few cautions towards the end, it looks like he may lose this race because of just the car completely falling off, that 83 Navy car. Back up in front, it's still Richard Drake in the 141, Alexander, Brad Eddy, and you can see the score ticker. Want to thank Paul Strickland Jr., Showtime again at Vidane TV for putting together the graphics. Again, you can see your favorite driver. And again, if you're watching on Vidane TV and Tim's Corner Motorsports, let us know in the comments who you're cheering for and what do you think of the racing so far? How was the heat racing? How was the con season? So far, it's been pretty green flag steady. I'm going to be careful saying that because there's always the announcer curse of saying one thing and then something else happens. Speaking of something else happening, the 75 gets in second.
Yeah, Mike Alexander hard charging, trying to reel in Richard Drake, but he's been so consistent here tonight, leading a lot of this race here. But we are getting into some lap traffic. The 75 and the 4 going to get around that 57. Barrett Bonner throwing down here in the top 3. Barrett Bonner coming halfway up the field, so throwing down a big show here for the 4 car for Bonner.
Watching the ticker on the screen up above there, and Mike Alexander was back about 2.5 seconds there not too long ago. He has trimmed that down now. He's only a second and a half. So he is starting to reel Drake in. He's still got enough time to do it.
And just so you know, folks, Barrett Bonner has already been down pit road. He must have went down pit road earlier on, but on my score sheet here, I got Barrett Bonner that I already visited pit road. So does Bonner have an advantage right now?
He is mighty fast, and I think he's even a bit faster than Alexander, but he just holding his position. I think they're kind of working together to maybe kind of draft here to try and catch up to the 141, and it's working as they are trimming down that lead about 1.2 seconds between Richard Drake and the number 75, Mike Alexander, with the 4, just like a one of those things that attach to sharks in the sea, just kind of attaching on the 75 and trailing right behind. 44 laps into 75, a very long green flag stretch. A few cautions to kick the night off here. You can see even on our broadcast screen, the 75 almost on the same screen as 141, Joe.
Yeah, he sure is. And, watching the time slide away now, Mike is doing a great job tracking them down. Don't know if those bumpers line up kind of like to see if they could do any kind of bump drafting. But you know what? Mike doesn't need any help right now. He's doing a great job on his own.
Bit of a battle going on behind Noel Fougere. Richard Beasley actually went down pit road twice there earlier with those cautions. We're going to have a look in on the 10 car. He has visited pit road twice, so he has freshest tires of anybody here. So that nice, clean Mike James Shorts, the Tide car, on the run, and is trying to close the gap on Johnny Fitzpatrick, the 78.
Man, he has been cleaning up the competition, if you will, to try and get up at the top 5 here, as you can see. Currently 6, but he is right on the trail to 78, John Fitzpatrick. Boys, 2nd and 3rd are now within a second of 141, Richard Drake. That is Bonner, if you will, in the 4 and the 75. Mike Alexander, they have reeled in the leader along with Noel Fougere. 4 cars on lap 48 are all in contention for the lead. Richard Drake has led every single lap so far. I don't know how long that's going to last with the 75 and the 4. Charging out of turn number 2 on the backstretch. And there's a move now from the 4. Bonner going around the 75 with the 141 also slower in front of that number 4. Pass for second goes to the 4, and he's going to try and get first.
I think Mike Alexander is going to play it smart here, quite some time now. It's still a little bit early. We got 26 laps to go here. Alexander has lots of time to throw down the chess pieces here. So nice move by 75 by letting the 4 go here and put a little challenge on the 141 and maybe see a little bit of a mess here in front of him. Look at this, Noel Fougere.
You could throw a blanket over those top 2 right now as we're working on a lead change, gentlemen. Look at that, the 4 car.
Wow. And you know what? I guess tires are making a big difference here, as Bonner was one of those cars that went down pit road. And look at Richard Beasley now getting around John Fitzpatrick. Our 2 cars that have been down pit road are on the move. Richard Beasley into 10, now in P5, and your new leader, Barrett Bonner. So will we see some of these other drivers hit down pit road? Maybe too late at this point now.
Yeah, green flag stops would absolutely kill your chance of trying to win this race. You need a caution. If I'm Richard Drake, I want a caution to get some fresh tires on. Bonner and that 4 is in front, but look at that. Noel Fougere is also in second. So we've had a few changes in the top 4 just like that. That tide ride is coming up fast. It's coming up quick here.
Beasley's on the move.
Beasley's got the fresh tires on that 10. He is charging up, Joe.
No skid marks on that number 10, is there?
Yeah.
Why?
Man, he is going to be putting a cleaning on the 141. He is right behind Richard Drake. Beasley going to tuck it on the inside on lap 52, coming up to 53 here. Bonner in the 4 from the Yarmouth area. A racer at Lake Model Speedway is in front. Anthem singer Noel Fougere in the 36. He's in second, and we're still watching that battle for that 4th and 5th position. The 141, Richard Drake, and Beasley in the Tide Ride sitting behind him. But again, fast car, new tires. I think he's going to try and tuck under him and get out of there quickly.
Guys, a couple of them other cars on the move that were all the way to the back that went down pit road during that big caution. We've seen earlier Jake Gubin get nailed from behind in the 24. He is now in position number 8, and also David Cassidy in the 3 are on the move in 8th and 9th position and coming on strong.
Yes, we are seeing the tires playing a huge factor as we're still focusing on the 141, trying to fend off that 10. And Drake has been doing a pretty good job holding off the 141. You can see on the ticker, the 4 has a slight lead, maybe 0.3 of a second in front of Noel Fougere in that 36. But it's all about conserving the tires now, because we've had a, almost 40-lap green flag stretch, and Noel's about 10 car lengths behind. And Noel, he's one of the drivers that actually admitted that the fuel in the car can throw your car off. If there's too much fuel in the car, it can throw off the weight issues. So he's a pro iRacer here for these Tim's Corner races. And speaking of pro, there's a professional right there, Mr. Mike Alexander, Mr. Consistency. And there's the caution with less than 20 laps to go.
The question is, are they going to go down pit road here, Joe?
Absolutely. You're going to want some Dr. Feelgoods on that race car right now. When you see the advantage that Bondar had with the 4-car, with the new skins, I think it's a shoe-in. You're going to want to hit pit road.
Now, if you're Barrett Bonner, are you going to go down pit road, or are you going to try to stay out there? But this is going to be a little tangly with not a lot of laps left. 18 to go here, boys.
If I was a betting man, I'd be saying they're all coming down pit road.
Well, we are going to find out in just a moment as Barrett Bonner brings them around. Will he fake? And they're all going to come down except for a few.
And see, this is very rare that all the top cars usually go. You usually got maybe first and second to take the risk and not stay and not go pit. But we'll have to see who's going to. There's probably a few drivers taking the gamble as well.
Yeah,
4 cars.
New skins, huge advantage, 18 laps to go. What this is going to do right now is it's going to bring Mike Alexander's going to fall right into it here. He's going to be in good shape. Noel Fougere also running real well. And Bonner out front. Man, this is going to be a dynamite finish.
Who's going to take 2? Who's going to take 4? We'll see who comes out first. And look at that. Bonner is the first one out, and so Alexander, your top 4 as well as the 10 that came out, but they're going to have 3 or 4 cars ahead of them here on the restart. Now,
I think Richard Drake at least took 4 because he was very, very slow on pit road. You can see the race off pit road there, but not much of a change there for the front. You still got the 4, the 36, and the 75, your top 3, and we'll figure out the rest of the cars there. I don't know if any drivers took the gamble of staying out. Maybe they had a wreck earlier, so I think all the leaders went to pit road there.
The big move here was Danny Chisholm, but they're now putting Barrett Bonner back on the pole here, but Danny Chisholm will start in position number 3. No, he's gone down pit road. He went down by himself. A little bit of a shake-up there. He did not go down with the leaders and decided to go down after.
We're going to find out who's got what when that green flag comes back out, gentlemen. This is going to be a dynamite finish.
And the cool thing is, like, all these drivers are going to have fresh tires now. So it's pretty much going to come down to driving ability and how much did you use up your car earlier? Did you maybe clap the wall in the beginning of the race, and will that damage hurt your car later on, or have you kept the nose clean the entire time? The 4 of Bonner from the Yarmouth area, again, Lake Gosse Motor Speedway driver, Noel Fougere, an anthem singer. Mike Alexander, he's pretty much raced everything that has 4 wheels here in Nova Scotia. Sportsman, hobby stocks, pro stocks, everything.
Lake Doucette.
Lake Doucette. They call it Doucette.
I know. I do this with Tim all the time. Doucette.
All right, it's that time of the race here, boys. Who's your picks there, Joe?
Oh, I'm going to take 75. Mike, how can you not take Alexander? The guy has had incredible success. He's real good at this. But Noel, how about a young, rising star? You got to give it to the 36.
Yeah, Dylan, who do you got there, bud?
I think I'm going to go for a dark horse here. I'm going to pick the number 24, Jake Goodwin. I mean, he's got a lot of damage on the back, but he is sitting in 5th, and he was a driver that was able to maneuver his way through all the cars to get back in the top 5. You watch out. I think the 24 may have something to show at the end here.
Well, I'm going to go dark horse, and I'm going to go with the 54 of Jared Butcher because Butcher's been pretty quiet here all evening and did get to go down pit road, so he is going to be in position number 6, so 3rd row back there. Let's see what he has for us.
And this is Paul in the production trailer. I'm splitting the middle. I'm going to go with that nice clean ride, the number 10 of Richard Beasley.
We'll turn off the washing machine because we're going to finish off this race here with less than 15 laps to go. Bonner out in front of Fougere and the 75 Alexander, and there's the tie run. Oh, we got Brad Eddy. Turn 1. I think he was able to save it, though, and no, not able to save it enough as, yeah, there's a demo derby. Oh, Richard Drake, 141.
Oh.
He's waving.
Oh, baby.
Are we doing the Bob Cole announcing today? Everything is happening.
Oh, baby. Little Newfoundland announcer.
Oh, baby. So let's see what happened with the number 6 there, Showtime.
Absolutely. Another Shed Life Shed Movers instant replay. The 3 down low. The captain car gets up and, he mixed his Captain Morgan with his Valvoline. Got him a little bit sideways. You see the 6 on the outside. Oh, my goodness gracious. That pink and black car with a great big hit. The 78 involved the 141, the 87, the, not Noel Fougere. Who's that in the green and black
Healy.
car? Healy, that's right. He's involved big time. You see the pace truck driving on through everything. Man, a couple of big hits back here. No resets. And, man, with 10 to go, probably going to restart with 10 to go here. Easy enough for me to say. Not sure if these guys are going to be able to get these cars fixed. If anything, they'll be restarting in the back of the pack.
Larry Mack, is this going to be our final caution of the evening?
Absolutely not.
You got to throw in the Kenny Wallace. Woo!
Woo!
Kids on
Ric Flair, I think. Yeah.
Oh, Kenny and Ric Flair were buddies. They did Ric Flair was on the show on one of the Cup races.
Oh, man.
Funny.
No, I got to interview Kenny a few times last year. He was the NASCAR driver at the IWK 250, and off the record, we were just chit-chatting, and I said, Kenny, I used to love the Stacker 2 commercials he used to do, and he was telling me about meeting the Big Show, and he said the funnest time ever on that race day show presented by Home Depot when Ric Flair showed up. He just said it was a ball. He said it was a ball meeting the Nate.
Yeah, they cranked it up with the woo.
Got to have the woo off, and it's going to be a woo-tacular finish with, about 10 laps to go, and you can see the 141 Richard Drake. I think, he's got a lot of damage. The Laker News 141, big-time damage. We want to thank the Laker News again for hopping on and helping out tonight's race. Check them out on their website, thelaker.ca, and their Facebook as well, The Laker. A lot of news coverage of the East Hanson Fall River area, supporting a local newspaper here in Nova Scotia, and they're supporting local iRacing tonight. Bonner in that 4 is in front of Noel Fougere with about 10 laps to go. It's going to be a big Saturday night shootout, just like we like it here, gents.
Yeah, these 10 laps, Joe, are going to be intense as they come around here. We should see the pace truck leave here, maybe bring it down to 9 laps.
Yeah. I can just what I take away from that last restart was that 4 car is the real deal. That he's got it going. Man, he looked really good on that restart.
Wow. Dylan, give us your best Macho Man impression.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. I know that the 4's got the fastest car in town, but you know one thing there, Mean Gene Okerlund? I'm going to tell you something, that 36 ain't got no challenge there. Yeah, with the fresh tires and the cream of the crop. Yeah!
Oh, yeah, brother, and you bet you're going to take the 24 car, the DuPont machine, brother. The superpower's going to match up with the 4 machine, man, and we're gonna blow the roof off the Superdome, brother.
Joe, you want
know,
to
Mean
add
Gene,
to that
we
one?
don't really know what we're doing here, but we're going to shake
Joe,
hands
you could be
quickly.
Mean Gene.
No, that would be a hemorrhoid commercial.
Yeah.
Lights.
Slim Jim.
Lights out atop of the pace truck. It's going to go down to the safety of pit road as they double up. Noel Fougere on the outside, the 4 of Bonder.
Yeah, Jared Butcher's not in the 54. He is in the 23 here tonight, so we'll see what row number 3 gives us here.
Somerville look-alike. Here we go. Green.
All the way below the yellow here, boys.
That's the smart play.
Hey, we got Corey
Hall. Wrecking.
Oh, hold on, boys. We got a lot of the top cars wrecking here. Oh, man, we got... Who's that on this side? Oh, that's a 99 on his
Brandon
side.
Campbell.
Used to have a 99 on the door.
Now he's got like a 90.
Yeah.
I guess Larry Mack was correct. We will have another caution here.
That's right. Paulie Mack down here in the production trailer. We're going to take a look at the Shed Life Shed Movers instant replay here on Vidane TV. We're going to look at it from the blimp cam because it was a whole mess of action going on, heading on down into turn number 1 there. And you can see we'll actually start it right up from the restart and kind of focus in on that 99 Pepsi machine, the old throwback Jeff Gordon paint scheme there. So you see up front a little bit of tire spin on the outside of the 24. The 20, the 83 Navy machine gets into the back of the 24, sends himself around and collects a lot of cars behind him. Holy moly, there's a bunch of big hits in there.
Yeah.
That's one of those replays you just say, here's what happened. Back to you.
Unfortunately, the cut down in front of Corey Hall was not what he was looking for, as he wanted to come up through the pack, but the 83 in a bit of a mess there.
Absolutely. A lot of tore-up race cars here, and going to be restarting with 4 or 5 laps to go, so it's unfortunate that a lot of these guys are going to be done for the evening. They're not going to be able to repair these cars quick enough to stay on the lead lap and challenge for the lead. And Barrett Bonner doing a great job holding on to that. You see, oh, God, that Navy car just spins back up, and the calamity all over the place. The 33 comes back down, collects the 99, the NWO machine. And you can see the Pepsi car just absolutely tore up at this point. So tough break for Brandon Campbell and company that got caught up in that.
A few cars got through that wreck that are now coming up, now moving closer to the front of the pack here. So
Yeah, 4 and the 74 were the ones, or 75 made it through that one.
Yeah, unfortunately for Jared Butcher now, he's going to be all the way back for P11, so sad for Mike James. But looks like Barrett Bonner, Mike Alexander, Noel Fougere, and Richard Beasley show right now for the top 4.
And my pick is gone. The 24 got completely wiped out there. So if I was betting some money tonight, it's been thrown out, unfortunately.
Who picked Bonner?
I did.
I thought you picked Mike Alexander. You can't have 2 picks, man. You can't have 2 picks, Joe.
I took the 75. You're not going to believe this, but I just seen a mouse in the Racetime Radio studio.
Even the mice want to watch the action tonight.
And this is Joe Chisholm, Nature and Things.
I kid you not. I hope he surfaces
You
again.
live in
I hope
nature.
he's not chewing on any wires.
Well, Joe, I discovered I live next to a potato farm in Prince Edward Island, and I used to see one mouse every night. And I discovered quite fast that there's never just one mouse.
That could be it. I had the door open for quite a bit here, so you never know.
It's a hot one.
It could be a squirrel, too. I don't know.
Well, boys, does that mean we get to pick another car?
Yeah, what's going on? Mike and I's picks got wiped out there.
And I'm the boss here tonight, so Dylan, you get to pick another car.
Well, speaking of picks, I actually just want to take a quick moment here because it's my show and I can do what I want. I want to interview my pick real quick here, getting ready to go to green. Richard Beasley, man, you're restarting 4th. Let's take a look. We got 5 laps to go. You think you got anything for him?
Yeah, if we can get some green runs here, I think we got something. Other than that, we got 5 green-white checkers. We'll make something happen.
Absolutely. We'll get you sent back down to your race channel there. We know you're getting ready to go for green. Hopefully we'll talk to you here on the podium. Good luck, bud.
Keep it clean.
Keeping it clean in the Tide machine.
Cold clean.
That was like a Jeff. That was a Jeff Gordon interview. Just like one question, bam, that's it. Done.
Pin me, pay me, give me a T-shirt.
All right, guys. Hey, about 5 laps to go. It's a Saturday night shootout here at the Rock. Bernard in the 4. He's from Yarmouth. He first. Mike Alexander on his outside. Fougere and the driver we just spoke with just mere moments ago in that number 10 tie-in ride. Green flag is out here back at the Rock.
On that restart, they all twerked there as they all laid down the rubber, but Bonner gets out in front, and Fougere coming on strong.
Noel Fougere's got some big-time power in that 36. He's there, brothers and sisters, with 4 laps to go. Kind of peels off just for a moment there, but look at this run. He's going to get on the inside. He's going to poke it on the inside, side by side to the stripe there. That time, the 4 is going to get it, but with 3 laps to go, Joe, we've got a 3-way dance, and including the 10, we've got a blanket spread over the top 3.
Yeah, look at Noel Fougere on the low side of the speedway. He could be in the right spot. The 4 keeps the momentum on the high side, though.
Yeah, Richard Beasley coming down to the bottom will work with Noel Fougere, could give assistance, but look at this, the 4 Bonner's been able to squeeze to the bottom and get in front, and now gets a little bit of traction as he gets about a car length, but the 10 and the 36 are coming back on strong once again.
Fougere and Beasley are very fast out of the exits of turn 2 and turn 4, but Bonnar in that 4 is able to block like a semi-truck there with about 2 laps to go. He blocks that low side again. Fougere and the 10 have to work together. Kellogg's and Tide mixed together. Not good in the bowl, but good here on the racetrack as they are drafting down in a big shot to the 36. 1.5 lap to go here at the Rock.
Mike Alexander really fell off, but here comes Brett Suggs and Richard Beasley now for the 3rd and 4th position. Not sure what happened on the restart there for Mike Alexander, but he has fallen all the way back to the P5. But keep an eye on that Brett Suggs, the 33, on a run here.
Last lap here at the Rock. One more time around, the white flags in the air. It's the last corner here for the Mike Wants to Rock 75. Does Noel Fougere have enough to rock and roll? He's going to appear on the inside. It's not going to be enough there as the cars cross the start-finish line. Barrett Bonnar from Yarmouth in the 4 will win the Mike Wants to Rock 75 here at Rockingham Speedway.
The 4 is the real deal at the end of this one. How about the run he got tonight, Mikey?
Unbelievable. You know, he came on strong. There was one of the cars that went down pit road earlier on. It worked for him. They all went down pit road there on that big caution earlier on. And from the hang on after that, big props to Barrett Bonnar for putting on a show here tonight. But also the top 5 was a dandy. Mike Alexander coming on strong with Brett Suggs. Richard Beasley, half the race, leading the race, had a great night here. And Noel Fougere, the young guy, the young gun, putting on a bit of a show on that last lap.
Some fantastic racing here at the Rock. You can see the rest of the drivers, 11th through 20th. Yeah, it wouldn't be a TCM event with about a caution with about 10 or 20 laps to go, as we had a few cautions there at the end. And you can see Ethan Miller at the back. 23 cars started. The number 4 came out on top. Yarmouth's Barrett Bonnar in the 4 wins tonight. The Mike Wants to Rock 75 presented by the Laker News. Fougere and Beasley, who we got to speak with for a quick hot moment there in the Tide Ride, finishing in that 3rd position. We finished up pretty quick here, boys. That was some fast racing as we're bringing in our drivers here and all the crew working here tonight. In fact, we've got our 2nd place finisher here in the chat. So we'll start off chatting here with the podium, starting with the 2nd place finisher. That's Noel Fougere in the 36. Noel, got a copy there, buddy?
I do, Dylan. What's going on?
Dude, I'm sorry there was an announcer curse tonight, but solid run there finishing 2nd. Looks like you had a bit more speed on that restart. Were you just not able to clear the 4, or what was going on there?
Just not being able to time the run right. I know coming off of 2 with like 3 to go, I had like a really, really good run. And then I got under him and something sort of just stalled out. I couldn't really roll the bottom as well as I could before, and he managed to get around me. And I was trying to see if I could maybe make him, I don't know, dive a little deep into the turn or something like that. But I just couldn't get it done. I'm still shaking after that one. That was really intense. That was great racing by Barrett there. Good win to him. But yeah, all in all, it was a really fun race tonight.
Was the 10 helping you out a bit, giving you a little bit of a bump draft out of the exit of turn 2?
I mean, a little bit, I guess you could say. I don't think we ever did hit, but I guess I could thank Richard a little bit for that 2nd place.
How about the end there? It wouldn't be a TCM event without a few cautions towards the end. How was the racing overall? I mean, you were kind of hanging out around the top 5 the entire time.
It was actually really good. I knew coming into this race that saving the right front was going to be a huge, huge deal because this track has such high bank, and it's like this track is like 40 grit sandpaper to the tires. So I knew coming in that saving was going to be a huge, huge deal. So I spent the first probably 50 or so laps just riding and taking it easy on my right front, which is kind of hard to do when you know you have speed, but you see everyone flying past you. But with probably about halfway through the race, then people started to come back to me, and Mike, I saw burn his stuff up a little bit and managed to get around him and Brad Eddy as well. to get up to second place. And I had something for Barrett, I think, if that had gone green, but unfortunately those last couple cautions came out and mixed things up.
So were you kind of easing it off the throttle in the turns, or what were you doing to try and save that right front and the rest of the tires?
Biggest thing here is letting off early, and just sort of letting the car coast into the turn. Exit is not as bad on the tires, so you can really use that to your advantage if you can probably run half a lane up and sort of dive down and get a good run off to sort of keep your time up a little bit. But yeah, that's the most important thing, is not slide the tire on entry.
Dude, you can get it done on iRacing. When are you going to start racing on the real tracks?
Well, you see, Dylan, that's the question, because I don't know. I mean, I've been open to that and have been trying to look for something for quite a few years now. I mean, I've wanted to get into a race car since I was probably 6 or 7 years old, but just sort of haven't had the financial stuff need to be where it needs to be, to make that happen. But if anyone's out there looking to sponsor someone from iRacing, I'm certainly open to any opportunities.
Dude, you got the gift of gab for sure. And with that, you want to thank any friends, family watching tonight?
Just my dad. He was giving me some helpful tips throughout the race, sort of being my crew chief a little bit. And just thanks for him for helping out. You guys for putting on another great broadcast. As always, Tim for putting this on. It's certainly a really good way to pass the time, and it's nice to see that we couldn't hold off for 2 weeks and that we still got a pretty good turnout for an unexpected race. So,
a lot of fun, man. Noel Fagier, congrats finishing second.
All right, thanks, Dylan. I appreciate it.
No problem, buddy. You sang the anthem too, part way, which is amazing. I did the car and get back on the mic that quick.
I know. I'm hoping so, man. I'm sitting here. I'm shaking.
That's Noel Fagier finishing second here tonight. Just that short from winning the Mike Wants to Rock 75. But you heard it, and we saw it. We saw the 83 and the 141 fall off big time in the middle part of the race. We have another driver here in our announcer booth, but I'm not sure if it's the winner or...
Hey, Dylan, that's our winner.
That is our winner. Okay, well, let's chat with him. Barrett Bonnar in the 4. Can you hear us, friend?
Yeah, I got you.
That was some solid racing. You held off Noel and you held off the 10 towards the end, and you kind of charged up with about 25 laps to go. Were you saving your stuff as well? And congratulations winning tonight, your first big iRace win here on TCM's events.
Yeah, thanks. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, I was saving my stuff on that long run there, but I guess my unfortunate start was actually kind of fortunate. Let me have 5 or 6 lap fresher tires than most of those guys, but even at the end there, when I got up in front, I still had a little bit left. I hadn't started pushing yet. I was kind of just watching the lead I had on second place there and just trying to not burn it up before I had to.
How are you able to hold off Noel on that 10 with 5 laps to go? Was it blocking? Was it just trying to get away from them?
I knew I didn't have the speed to get away, but I was just trying to mitigate any runs he could get and just trying to alter my line a little bit. I knew if I ran, just trying to outpace him there, he was probably going to get a nose under me.
This is, I believe, your first big iRacing win here, especially for TCM, and you've been a part of most of the year. How good does it feel to get this win with some of your fellow Lake Motor Speedway competitors and some other top drivers here in Atlanta, Canada? How good does that feel to finish in front of them?
Oh, it's just the best. Like Noel was saying there, you get a little case of the shakes and stuff. It's all the same excitement as being on the real track.
So for maybe a few fans who are maybe unfamiliar with the Yarmouth area and racetrack, who is Barrett Bonnar? And I know you race down there. What do you race? And just kind of checking out your Facebook as well. I see you maybe do a little drag racing as well.
Yeah, we've been doing drag racing around the Maritimes for 20 years or so, and we dabble with the roundy stuff occasionally. We got a couple of legends stuffed away in a garage, and the last thing we ran was actually some 4 cylinders here at Lake Dowsett. Won a championship there, a couple of races, all that good stuff. But mostly just sticking to the virtual stuff these days.
Yeah, aren't we all? And with all the fans watching on Tim's Corner Motorsports and Vidane TV, any family or friends or sponsors you want to say hey to tonight?
No, I know we got some people watching there, and I heard my mother was a little worked up there the last couple of laps, so that's usual. That happens at the real racetrack too. So, no, just thank you guys for putting it on. It's a ton of fun.
Hey, good stuff, man. That's Barrett Bonnar and the 4 winning. Congratulations, Barrett.
Thanks.
Big win for him. That was some solid racing. And Joe, we've got our 3rd place finisher here, and actually,
I think we lost Joe.
I think we lost Joe. So.
Kind of cool that Barrett Bonnar does the drag racing, though.
I was checking out his Facebook, and I was just noticing, hey, you know, he's got a kind of a funny car there. So
Got to come to Eastbound, man. Do both.
all right, we're going to throw now to our third place finisher, Ryan Beasley, who we had in here for a quick moment as well. Ryan, can you hear us?
Yeah, I got you.
Squeaky clean finish in the Tide Ride, man. You had a little something there for the 4 car and the 36. Did you have enough car to get past the 36 and the 4 if there was enough time?
I think on a longer run, maybe I was able to save my tires there in that one long run we had, and it was coming up pretty good. But the last few laps there, I was kind of just hoping they were going to get together and something was going to happen, but didn't play.
Earlier on, you were involved in one of the earlier wrecks. Did you throw on fresh tires, and is that how you were able to creep back up to the top of the field?
Yeah, yep. When we came down, we got 4 fresh tires, and we were able to save them a little bit and come up through there towards the.
Now, I'm not too familiar with you on iRacing here, so you seem to play that strategy, you know, pretty good. Did you think that maybe if there was maybe 100 laps there that you could maybe creep in, or you just mentioned you kind of maybe backed off to see the 4 and the 36 tangle? Was that kind of your last hope, or did you maybe figure if there was just enough time I could have got there?
Yeah, I knew when we went green that first time, there wasn't going to be much time. We had those 2 quick yellows, and that kind of depleted the rest of the laps I was going to have to work with. So when we went back green that last time, I was just kind of playing the waiting game. I thought for sure something was going to happen, and then I was going to be able to capitalize on it. But they never got together, and I was kind of just, you know, we were pretty equal at that point. I was just kind of staying where I was.
So through the power of iRacing, how cool is it that you're racing with a bunch of Canadians here tonight, and you finished in the top 3? You beat a bunch of Canadians.
It's fun. I've known Tim for a long time at Tim's Corner, and it's fun to get on here and race with these guys every now and then. I appreciate it.
Any family or friends or any maybe sponsors tonight watching you want to say hey to?
Yeah. I mean, I want to thank Tim for putting this on at Tim's Corner Motorsports, Raging Cajun Graphics. They do a lot of my paint schemes. You guys putting on this, Vidane, Paul Strickland, all you guys over here broadcasting. I appreciate you guys. You guys do a good job.
Hold on. You forgot the pit crew behind you. Thank who's behind you, because if they haven't seen your Twitch stream yet, they don't know who's behind you, but thank who's behind you too.
On my Twitch stream, this Twitch Beasley 2810, I got all the Ricky Rudd stand-ups behind me. I usually like to stream with some Ricky Rudd gear on, so I guess I like to thank the Rickies behind me for.
Hey, solid racing there, Ryan. Congrats finishing third.
All right, sounds
Richard,
good.
pardon me.
Richard. Thank you, man. Thank you.
No problem, dude.
He's the real deal.
He is the real deal, man. That was some solid racing there from the number 10.
I think we got someone else in the room. Rashy Richards here.
Yeah, Rash. We got a bunch of people hopping in here, but
everybody wants to hang out.
Everyone, hey, it's the Cool Kid Club.
Yeah, Dylan, not to confuse you with Richard and Richard, but we needed to throw Rational Richard on here as well. And I know you've done a couple of these interviews, so I guess I'll come in here. Richard, you dominated the first half of this race. Tough end to it, but how does it feel to finally shake that monkey off your back and run up front one of these races?
Man, that was fantastic, Tim. I've been having such a blast, where we can't have our main racing season right now. It's just great to have a way to get back out on the track with all of my peers from regular racing and have a chance to let that Need for Speed out. I think I'd be going crazy otherwise, but it's fantastic to have a good run like that. I've been doing my best to get practiced up. iRacing is very similar to real racing in a lot of ways and also very different, and it's been quite the experience getting adjusted to sim racing, but definitely a lot of fun, and I'm glad, at least for the feedback. I guess I'm learning something. Something's working.
I was going to ask you about that experience, because you're racing with, guys like Richard Beasley and Mike Alexander and those guys that are up front, Corey Hall, that have had years and years of experience on the sim. You've had maybe a month. How's that transition been, trying to get up to speed?
Yeah, the wheel is totally different. I'm boggled constantly by how little you actually need to turn the wheel on iRacing, and there's sensitivity you can play with, but even then it's very slight movements. I think what was kind of unique about this track was it's all in the pedals. There's a lot of steering the car with the gas and the brake, and that kind of was pretty familiar to a Neon, so that kind of struck a chord with me, and I guess that's how I hooked up here.
Now, what are you looking forward to here in June? Obviously, we can't go real racing just yet. It's getting closer, but can't go real racing just yet. We got some super late model racing coming up. We got a super speedway coming up here at the end of the month. What are you looking forward to the most? Is there any racetrack you have circled on your schedule?
Ooh, that's a good question. Really, I'm pretty excited for all of it. I'm signed up for just about as much as I can, but I think we're doing a race at Oxford later. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're doing actually a week at Oxford, and I know Paul's got that graphic somewhere in there, but yeah, a week at Oxford, that should be fun.
Absolutely. I've one of my dreams is to someday race there in real life. So let's get started with that on sim racing first. So if I had to pick one, I'm looking forward to Oxford.
I know you've got a dedicated crew that helps you out on the real race car, and I'm sure is watching in. You got some sponsors on that race car, and you got a big Laker news on the hood as well. Who'd you like to thank for today?
Yeah, well, I gotta thank my family. We're Kinetic Racing, and man, they just provide me so much support emotionally with everything, and on the track, off the track. We got the Laker news on the hood. Couldn't be more proud to run up front today with the Laker news supporting the race itself. And big thanks to Kobe's Auto Recyclers as well, and shout out to the rest of my family, Bruce and Eric and Janetta, who I think are watching, and my Nan Ruth. I think she tuned in for the first time tonight, so good time there.
Well, if she's a good luck charm, she's going to have to tune in for the next of them, because if you carry the speed, we're going to see this 141 car in victory lane before this is all said and done.
That's what I'm hoping. I'll be up front as much as I can be.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And while we have a moment before we sign this one off, Dylan and Mike, I'm going to squeeze over here and talk to Pat Healy, because Pat's been watching this all night long. I've been watching a few of these. Pat, what was your take on the race?
I really loved the race here tonight. It was really good, exciting.
Now, for those that don't know about the Laker news, they should know about it already, but inform the viewers, what is the Laker news, and where can they find you on social media and on the
The Laker News is a community news website covering Fall River, East Hants, Beaverbank, thelaker.ca, and on Twitter you can find me at REPRTR Pat Healy.
And a great supporter of racing as well. Do you got those thumbs ready for when we go back racing at Gosse Speed World?
Yes, I've been warming them up.
That's good to hear. That's Pat Healy from the Laker News. And Dylan, Mike, he helped me out a little bit tonight, too, in the race control. I had a little bit of issue at the start of the night with a little bit of connection issue as we went heat racing. So it's great to have Pat. And, yeah, Brian Nagy was also there tonight, too, from Legends Nation. I know he wanted to be racing with the Southeast Super Trucks today, but they got postponed to next week. So it was good to have Brian here as well. Mike, what'd you think? This was your show. This was your idea to race the Rock. What'd you think?
Well, all the superstars showed up. You know, it was a couple of days. Maybe it was because everybody thought Twisted Sister was going to be here, but, you know, what a night. It's a Saturday night. I said to you, there wasn't going to be any NASCAR. You know, what the hell? Why not we throw a party down here for Saturday night for the fans as well as for the drivers? Unbelievable finish here. You know, you know, put on a show there halfway through the race, but Barrett Bonner, what a story here tonight, man. Awesome race, and looking forward to continuing on as we continue with this COVID-19 shutdown, but I'm really itching to get back to Eastbound and to our family, and I'm sure everybody in this room and that was tuned in tonight is really crossing the fingers that in the next couple of weeks that we eventually get back to trackside.
Yeah, hoping to get back to trackside in just a few weeks, hopefully. Dylan, you've seen a lot of these. Your thoughts on tonight's?
Dude, it was solid to get some green flag racing in, that's for sure. But that was a lot of fun and a nice finish. It's great to see a new winner as well, Barrett Bonnar getting the big W tonight. So it's always cool to see different winners and different racetracks getting represented as well. I believe this is probably the first LMDS victory for that stable, the Lake Dowsett Motor Speedway. And I know a lot of fans from Yarmouth Way were watching tonight. So cool to see, and it had a nice finish with the 10 and the 36. Noel Fougier making it interesting at the end. It was a lot of fun to cap off the night. I thought I was going to be sitting on the couch eating potato chips watching NASCAR. Instead, we were doing this thing here with some Atlantic Canadians and a few Americans.
It was a great little show. Congratulations to Barrett Bonner. And as you mentioned, first driver, I believe, from the Lake Dowsett Motor Speedway camp from the South Shore that's going to get into the All-Star Showcase. 20 drivers are now qualified for the showcase. And we've got a few races coming up. I know Paul's been itching to get that schedule page up there. Obviously, we're done for tonight with the Mike Wants to Rock 75 presented by the Laker News. Got a couple of Tranquility Super Late Model races coming up on 2 Friday nights. June 5th is going to be South Boston Speedway. June 12th is a track to be announced. We're going to roll, Richard mentioned the Oxford 500 week is what we're going to call it. June 15th is going to be the Late Model Stock 100.
Together at 2 o'clock this morning. He was doing this. He didn't have a sponsor. Like, throw me on.
The 18th is going to be the ARCA National 150. That's going to be the last ARCA race. I know Barrett's been lights out in these ARCA cars, so expect him to be near the front in that one. And then we've got the Tranquility Super Late Model 250 on the 19th. Coming up on June. And then June 21st, Paul is really excited for this one. It's the TCM Super Speedway SummerSlam at Talladega. It's going to be after the real Talladega race, 9 p.m. SummerSlam.
Super Slam.
Yeah.
Slim Jim is the sponsor.
Nacho Man, right?
Nacho Man.
So we're going to run that there on June 21st, the Sunday. That is after the Super Speedway race at Talladega with the Cup Boys. And then June 22nd and 25th is the All-Star Showcase. Track to be announced. It'll be announced on June 12th here on Vidane TV. The 22nd will be the All-Star Open for the drivers that haven't won a race yet. And then the 25th will be the finale. We've got laps available on the lap board as well. So head over and check that out. We're trying to build a purse for these guys that have put on a show for us during the COVID-19 pandemic. So the field is quickly filling up. 20 drivers qualified, plus anybody who wins any on the screen there are going to get into the show. And we've also got a couple of more races coming up. We've got the TCM Triple Threat benefiting the IWK Foundation on Saturday. I don't know if you guys have mentioned it or not. I mentioned it in the drivers meeting a little bit earlier on that we have the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series, Canadian Oval Pros, Keegan Leahy and Dylan Duval coming to race. They understand how important the IWK is to this community, and they're two of the best in the business. So looking forward to having them race with our guys. And we're going to do some dirt street stocks. We're going to do some Pro 2 light trucks. We're going to do some Tranquility Super Late Model racing. 3 races in one evening. It's going to be fun next Saturday. And then the Parts for Trucks Pro Stock Tour is back on June 9th. The Cummins iRacing 200 coming up on the Tuesday, South Boston Speedway 200 laps. So that is going to be fun. I think those are all the events that I have scheduled here, Paul. What, Mike? What's up?
Possibly some eastbound events.
Yeah, we've got some eastbound
down,
stuff,
baby.
Yeah, we got some stuff brewing from eastbound as well. Those boys have been putting on it. They had some tough luck tonight. I'll tell you that much. They had some tough luck tonight, but I'm sure they'll rebound at South Boston. Paul, I know you've got a busy schedule of upcoming events. What do you got ready to
Oh, we got us a race or two. We're about 57,000 here in the month of June, just wrapping up the month of May here. See, I haven't updated the graphic yet, but last night we actually ran, Thursday night, check that, we were off last night. We ran the Shift IROC Series at Michigan. Great race. Those guys put on a fantastic show. Tomorrow night, we're actually going to be running the East Coast Winter League, the SK Modifieds at Stafford Motor Speedway. Getting real close to championship night. They got a couple races left in their series to crown a champion, and it's cool to see a lot of the Northeast racing, actual race car drivers jumping in. Guys from Stafford, Thompson, some New York racers, Massachusetts as well. So pretty cool to see some big names in there. Monday night, we head on down south to the Florida Pro Truck Series Challenge. Those guys are going to be running, I believe, trucks at New Smyrna, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we got a lot of viewers here watching some Canadians run from Florida, which is pretty cool. It's the magic of iRacing and the internet. We can mix the crews and kind of commingle with some of our peers from afar. And then after that, Tuesday night, Tim's going to Motorsports, running some Legends Racing. Wednesday,
Actually, Paul, we're going to scratch that one. That's a build night, and you know how build day goes on iRacing. So we're probably going to scratch that. So that would be a nice day to enjoy a nice cold wobbly pop, I think.
Yeah, we'll get some wobbly pops and some daiquiris, and we'll stream something on Tuesday night. We'll definitely figure it out here on Vidane TV. Maybe we'll stream some wrestling and have some guys up here in the booth do some commentary on some 2K wrestling. I think that'd be kind of neat. But then Wednesday night, New Smyrna World E-Series. We're back with those guys running the street stocks at New Smyrna, wrapping that series up. And then Thursday, the New England, Pennsylvania Shift IROC Series running at Super Late Models at Texas Motor Speedway. Boop, turn the page. You see a doubleheader there. Tim's Corner Motorsports, Tranquility Super Late Models on the 5th and the 6th. East Coast Winter League on the 7th. Florida Pro Truck Series on the 8th. And rinse, lather, repeat. We race almost every single night here at Vidane TV, and doing a lot of iRacing coverage here since we got kicked off here in March. But very excited here at Vidane TV to announce that during this very broadcast, we did find out that Gary Spinato, Paul Verricchio Jr. Have from a race car, very good friends of ours here at Vidane TV and Vidane Racing. They have rented Stafford Motor Speedway next Saturday for a private test to test out some of the rental cars. And Vidane TV got the broadcast rights. So, you're going to see some cars on track, some real cars on real track here at Vidane TV next Saturday afternoon before we get down with that big charity Tim's Corner Motorsports event here at 7 o'clock. So very, very excited for next weekend. Very, very pumped up. I'm so excited. I'm hoping they have the concession stand open. I really want a pulled pork sandwich, and I really want to see some race cars, and I want to smell the race car gas and the fuel in the air and the tires squealing, and I want to do race car stuff with my race car friends, and I'm very excited with all the folks that rent a race car. So, unfortunately, I won't be working on the cars like I usually do, but looks like we're going to have us a unique broadcast at Stafford Motor Speedway next Saturday afternoon. But lots of cool stuff coming on here at Vidane TV. Just want to thank everybody for showing out, coming out here tonight to watch us. Know there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of really good weather, and some of the cars are going back on track, as it were. So very excited to get back into the racing season, and I'm glad to have everybody here that I can call a pretty close friend here at Vidane TV up in the booth. And man, we got a gaggle of people up here. Brian Nagy, Dylan Langell, Mike on the Rocks, Noel Fougier hanging out post-race, Tim Terry, and everybody else here at Vidane TV. Tim, take us home.
Well, that was a fun race. Congratulations to Barrett Bonner. He is your winner and your 20th driver to qualify for the All-Star Showcase coming up at the end of June here on Vidane TV. And as Paul mentioned, we're going to dust it off, and we'll see you next on June 5th. For the TCM Tranquility Super Late Models. All kinds of racing going on here on Vidane TV, though. Be sure to like them on Facebook if you haven't already. And be sure to follow along with Tim's Corner Motorsports. There's all kinds of upcoming events and news and information for racing in Atlantic Canada. Paul pretty much said it. Thanks to Dylan Langell, Mike James, and Joe Chisholm for coming on board tonight. Brian Nagy and Pat Healy for helping us out in race operations, and Paul Strickland Jr. for making sure he pushes all the buttons and gets us on the air here this evening. That's going to do it. My name is Tim Terry. Until next Friday, keep the hammer down, and we'll see you at the track.
You want to know what makes your favorite food taste even better? Not having it for a while. You want to know what makes the holidays so great? Only having them once a year. You want to know what made your first visit to the racetrack the best? Never having that experience before. When we have too much of something, it's easy to take it for granted. This is a reminder to appreciate every track, every race, every crew member, and every win. Because there will be a time when those moments seem out of reach.